Today I'm bringing you another goodie. This one's a little bit better though of a story. It has nothing to do with homelessness. It just has to do with about living smart. This gentleman here, he ends up remodeling a dumpster to be a tiny house. And I think that's a phenomenal idea to save some money. Places in my area are very high right now in rent. So everybody's trying to come up with another ways of living on the cheap, whether it be RV, living in their vehicle. Times are getting very tough right now. So I wanted to cover this article about a man living in a dumpster, plain and simple, and I find it to be a little bit interesting because, kind of reminds me of Two Broke Girls. Wasn't there a guy, like one of the boyfriends, he lived in a dumpster, and it actually looked really freaking neat inside of the thing, though. I don't think this one's as neat. It might be neater, but I liked some of the things that went on with it. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at it, this story. And this is a little bit more friendlier than the previous story I had. So it says here that Marshall, he spent 3 weeks and $5,000 to create the 25 square foot home. It looks pretty interesting. A yellow dumpster, skip house, RMS skip house. Looks like maybe there's a license number on top of the dumpster there. Nice little window, maybe a little vent. I think it's really interesting how the roof is curved up there. That's kind of cool. But let's go ahead and go on here. Let's see what else they have to say. A London-based Harris Marshall, who runs a small architectural firm called Kunik. Can you even pronounce that? Suikinin Studio has become very popular on social media after he started living in a refurbished rental dumpster that technically cost him $62 a month. But why? Why wouldn't you buy the dumpster? Why would you want to build something on top of a rented dumpster? You're so broke you can't even buy a dumpster? Marshall couldn't find an apartment within his budgets after returning to London from work in Central America and South Asia. In an interview, he said a one-bedroom apartment in Southwark, London, cost nearly $18.50 a month, which was over 75% of his income. That's exactly what it is here locally where I live. On average, I seen the hotel room, it was going for like $1,000 a month. And that was just for a fridge, a microwave, a bathroom, and a bed. Wait, there was a dresser. I forgot about the dresser. High living costs, rising rent, and elevated housing prices are stretching the budget of renters and homeowners worldwide, creating a drag on the housing market. According to the apartment lists, the median U.S. rent steadily climbed to $1,388 in April 2024 and under $1,100 in 2017. You know what's going on a lot in my area currently right now? Rental prices are just absolutely soaring. We're trying to get more housing here locally, more apartments, and hopefully driving down that cost of rent, because rent right now is absolutely absurd. And, I was talking about that $1,000 a month for that apartment. That didn't even include electric, your internet, or anything. That's what the crazy part about all this is. And anyways, Marshall firm worked with the Skip Gallery, which evolves around artwork and confines of a dumpster. On hearing about this project, a London-based art studio, Antepavilion, offered him an empty patch of land in Southwark to place a house. Interesting. See, around our community, small housing movements are not supported. I'd love to see like a trailer park style housing movement for smaller houses. I would love to see that in a lot of areas, but I just don't ever think that's going to happen. People are too close-minded and think that they need 1,500 square foot a person. I don't know. In December of 2022, he's 3 weeks and $5,000 to create a 25 square foot home with plans to live there for at least a year. The tiny house was Marshall's attempt to relay the message to landlords that he had literally turned his living condition into art, and highlighting the absurdity of London housing crisis. It is absurd everywhere. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was younger, I used to see places for $300 a month. Now the economy is just so insane. Rent prices are just through the roof. It's insane. And to make the space livable, he planned storage, a kitchen, a mini fridge, a heater, internet connection, lots of house plants, and a mezzanine-style bed. Marshall also installed an insulated timber frame for walls and a roof, along with a ladder connected to one or three windows that welcome natural light. You know, he's growing houseplants, unless he's growing Joe Rogan houseplant. You know, the plant that he calls houseplant. That's probably what he's growing. Although he uses the laundromat to shower at the gym and ensures home water supplies through a hose pipe, the big challenge was the constant attention for the people who stopped to look at the house. It is a popular location where people around Marshall pay thousands of dollars to rent and every month. And he also loved the Skip House. It's only a 15-minute bike ride from his office. That's what he loved about it, the 15-minute bike ride. Okay, well, that's understandable. I personally like the rent cost. I mean, there is a lot lower than, he was paying on a monthly basis there. I mean, the rent is just soaring, and the tiny house movement can fix a lot of this. Sadly, a lot of areas do not get behind the tiny house movement, and that's the sad part about it all. I really think the tiny house movement should be a big thing. You know, should we be building these great big houses that we don't really need? Like, we don't really need all that space. Other than maybe it just helps with mental illness so we don't end up, hurting one another. Anybody want any kids? I'm kidding. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to go drive my kids nuts. We'll catch you on the next one. Tell me what you think down below in the comments section. Would you live in a dumpster? I would live in a dumpster if it was a newer one. Don't give me a used dumpster, though. I mean, standards. Standards. But would you live in a dumpster if it was new, like that one guy on Two Broke Girls? You got to go watch some episodes. It's pretty good. Anyways, okay.